Life will test you in ways you never asked for. There will be moments when everything feels heavy, when your efforts seem invisible, and when the future looks uncertain. In those moments, strength is not about pretending everything is fine. Strength is about standing upright while everything inside you wants to collapse. It is about continuing forward even when you are tired, confused, or afraid. When life is hard, it is easy to believe that you are failing or that something is wrong with you. But hardship is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are being challenged to grow. Every difficult season carries a lesson, and every struggle carries the opportunity to become stronger than you were before. What matters is not how hard life becomes, but how you respond when it does. Staying strong does not mean you never feel pain. It means you refuse to let pain decide who you become. Pain can shape you or shrink you, and the difference lies in your choices. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you face it. Each time you choose patience over anger, effort over excuses, and discipline over comfort, you are building a strength that no circumstance can take away. Hope is not something you wait for when life improves. Hope is something you practice when life is difficult. It is found in small actions, in showing up when you feel empty, and in continuing even when progress is slow. Hope lies in the decision to take one more step, to try one more time, and to believe that today's struggle is not the end of your story. There will be days when motivation disappears. On those days, rely on discipline. There will be days when confidence fades. On those days, rely on consistency. Strength is built quietly, through repeated effort in moments no one sees. What feels insignificant today may become the foundation of your future resilience. When life is hard, slow down but do not stop. Breathe, observe, and stay grounded. Do not rush the process or compare your journey to others. Growth takes time, and endurance requires patience. The storm may be loud, but it is temporary. What you develop by standing through it will last far longer than the storm itself. Never underestimate your ability to endure. You have already survived moments you once thought would break you. Each challenge you face strengthens your ability to handle the next. Trust this process. Trust yourself. Even when the path is unclear, forward movement matters more than certainty. Staying strong also means allowing yourself to feel. Suppressing pain does not create strength, understanding it does. Face your emotions without letting them control your actions. Let them pass through you, not define you. This balance creates inner stability and clarity, even in chaos. Remember that life does not test the weak. It tests those capable of becoming stronger. Hard moments are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to reveal your resilience, your discipline, and your courage. The version of you that emerges from struggle is wiser, calmer, and more grounded. So when life becomes heavy, stand firm. When hope feels distant, practice it anyway. When strength feels low, continue regardless. The hardest moments often shape the strongest people, and the darkest paths often lead to the clearest understanding. Stay strong, not because life is easy, but because you are capable of enduring it and growing through it. Hardship is often misunderstood. Many people see it as a sign of failure, bad luck, or unfair treatment by life. When difficulties arise, the first instinct is to ask why things are going wrong, or to wish for the struggle to end as quickly as possible. Yet hardship is not something that appears to punish us. It arrives to teach us lessons that comfort and ease never could. Just as a muscle grows stronger only when it is challenged, a person grows wiser and more resilient only through difficulty. When life is smooth, there is little reason to reflect deeply or to question our habits, choices, and values. Comfort allows us to move on autopilot. Hardship, on the other hand, forces awareness. It demands attention. When something goes wrong, we are pushed to look inward and examine who we are, how we respond, and what truly matters. In this way, hardship acts like a mirror, showing both our weaknesses and our hidden strengths. Without struggle, many of these qualities would remain undiscovered. Hardship also teaches patience. In a world that values speed and instant results, difficulty reminds us that meaningful growth takes time. Pain cannot always be rushed away, and solutions do not always appear immediately. Through waiting, enduring, and continuing despite uncertainty, patience is slowly built. This patience becomes a lifelong skill, one that helps not only during difficult moments but also in relationships, goals, and long-term dreams. Another lesson hardship teaches is discipline. When life is easy, discipline feels optional. When life is hard, discipline becomes necessary. Waking up when motivation is low, continuing to work when results are not visible, and maintaining integrity when no one is watching are all forms of discipline, shaped by struggle. Hardship strips away comfort and forces commitment. Over time, this commitment becomes internal strength, a quiet confidence that does not depend on external conditions. Hardship also teaches humility. Struggle reminds us that we are not in control of everything. No matter how prepared, intelligent, or careful we are, life can still challenge us in unexpected ways. This realization softens arrogance and deepens understanding. It encourages empathy for others who are struggling and reduces judgment. When someone has endured hardship, they tend to listen more, understand more, and connect more deeply with others. Resilience is another powerful lesson learned through hardship. Resilience is not built by avoiding pain, but by moving through it. Each time a person faces difficulty and continues forward, they prove to themselves that they can survive more than they thought possible. This creates trust in oneself. Even when future challenges appear, there is an inner voice that says, "I have faced hard times before, and I am still here." That belief becomes a source of strength that cannot be taken away. Hardship also clarifies priorities. When everything is going well, it is easy to chase many things at once, some of which have little meaning. Difficulty forces choices. It reveals what is essential and what is not. It teaches the value of health, peace of mind, meaningful relationships, and inner stability. Many people only realize what truly matters after something is lost or threatened. In this way, hardship brings clarity that comfort rarely provides. Perhaps the most important lesson hardship teaches is self-mastery. In challenging moments, emotions run high. Fear, anger, frustration, and doubt all rise to the surface. Hardship gives us the opportunity to observe these emotions without being controlled by them. Learning to respond rather than react is a powerful form of growth. Over time, this control becomes inner freedom, the ability to remain steady even when the world feels unstable. Hardship does not arrive to destroy potential. It arrives to shape it. The pain, resistance, and struggle are part of a process that refines character, sharpens awareness, and strengthens the spirit. What feels unbearable in the moment often becomes the foundation of future confidence, wisdom, and strength. Through hardship, people are trained to endure, to grow, and to become more than they were before. Strength is often imagined as something loud and visible, expressed through dramatic effort or powerful moments of victory. Yet real strength is quiet. It is built in stillness and shaped through consistency, far away from attention and applause. Stillness is not weakness, and consistency is not monotony. Together they form the foundation of lasting strength that does not depend on mood, circumstances, or external validation. Stillness is the space where awareness begins. When everything slows down, the mind becomes clearer and distractions lose their grip. In stillness, a person learns to observe thoughts instead of being controlled by them. This ability to pause before reacting is a form of strength that protects against impulsive decisions and emotional chaos. It allows clarity to replace confusion and intention to replace fear. Without stillness, the mind is constantly pulled outward, reacting to noise instead of responding with purpose. Many people avoid stillness because it feels uncomfortable. Silence can reveal doubts, insecurities, and unresolved emotions. Yet facing these internal experiences is how strength is developed. Stillness creates a confrontation with the self, and through this confrontation comes understanding. When a person learns to sit with discomfort without escaping, they build mental endurance. This endurance becomes a calm presence in difficult situations, allowing stability even when pressure is high. Consistency is the partner of stillness. It is the decision to return again and again to the same effort, regardless of motivation or external results. Consistency transforms small actions into powerful habits. A single day of effort changes little, but repeated effort shapes identity. Over time, consistency builds trust in oneself. It proves that commitment is stronger than emotion and discipline is stronger than convenience. Strength built through consistency does not arrive suddenly. It grows quietly, almost unnoticed, until one day it becomes clear that what once felt difficult now feels natural. This kind of strength is reliable. It does not disappear when conditions change. It remains steady because it was built through repetition, not intensity. Just as water shapes stone through constant contact, consistent effort shapes character through persistence. Stillness and consistency together create balance. Stillness without consistency becomes passive, while consistency without stillness becomes mechanical. When combined, they allow progress with awareness. Stillness ensures that actions are aligned with values, while consistency ensures that those actions are sustained over time. This balance prevents burnout and creates sustainable growth. In difficult moments, strength built in this way becomes visible. When challenges arise, those who have practiced stillness do not panic easily. They pause, breathe, and assess. Those who have practiced consistency do not quit easily. They continue even when progress is slow. Together, these qualities allow a person to move forward calmly and steadily through hardship. This form of strength does not seek recognition. It does not need to prove itself. It exists in early mornings, quiet routines, and unseen effort. It is found in showing up when no one is watching, in choosing discipline over comfort, and in maintaining composure when emotions are intense. These moments may seem small, but they accumulate into unshakable resilience. Stillness also strengthens focus. In a world filled with constant stimulation, the ability to remain present is rare and powerful. Focus allows energy to be directed rather than scattered. When focus is consistent, effort becomes more efficient and purposeful. This reduces wasted energy and increases effectiveness, reinforcing inner strength. Consistency teaches patience. Progress does not always bring immediate results, and stillness helps accept this reality without frustration. Patience allows trust in the process rather than obsession with outcomes. Over time, this trust deepens confidence not in success, but in effort itself. True strength is not built in moments of excitement or ease. It is built in quiet repetition and calm awareness. It is formed when a person chooses to stay grounded, to continue, and to remain present even when results are uncertain. Through stillness, the mind becomes steady. Through consistency, actions become dependable. Together, they shape a strength that is silent, deep, and enduring. Pain is an experience that no one escapes. It arrives in many forms, emotional, physical, and mental, often without warning and rarely with clear instructions on how long it will stay. When pain is present, it can feel endless, as if it defines the moment and overshadows everything else. Yet pain by its nature is temporary. It changes, fades, or transforms with time. Growth, on the other hand, remains. What is learned, strengthened, and developed through pain becomes a lasting part of who a person is. In moments of pain, perspective narrows. The mind focuses on discomfort and searches for relief. This is natural. However, when pain is seen only as suffering, its deeper purpose is missed. Pain signals resistance, change, and challenge. It indicates that something is being tested or transformed. Without pain, growth would have no trigger. Just as the body adapts through physical strain, the mind and character adapt through emotional and mental strain. Pain often forces change. When everything feels comfortable, there is little motivation to evolve. Pain disrupts routines and breaks patterns that no longer serve growth. It pushes people out of familiarity and into new ways of thinking and acting. This disruption, while uncomfortable, creates space for development. The discomfort becomes a doorway through which a stronger version of the self can emerge. Growth gained through pain is permanent because it reshapes understanding. After enduring difficulty, a person no longer sees the world the same way. There is greater awareness of limits, resilience, and inner capacity. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. This shift in perception remains long after the pain has passed. It becomes a reference point, a reminder of what can be endured and overcome. Pain also teaches emotional strength. During hardship, emotions often intensify. Fear, sadness, frustration, and doubt surface more clearly. Facing these emotions rather than avoiding them builds emotional resilience. Over time, a person learns that emotions can be felt without being obeyed. This ability to remain steady while emotions move through the body becomes a lasting skill that strengthens mental balance. Another lasting result of pain is empathy. Experiencing hardship opens the heart to the struggles of others. It reduces judgment and increases compassion. Pain teaches that everyone carries invisible battles. This understanding deepens human connection and improves relationships. Empathy developed through pain does not disappear when circumstances improve. It becomes part of character. Pain also strengthens values. When circumstances are challenging, priorities become clearer. People learn what they truly care about and what they are willing to endure for. This clarity shapes decisions and behavior long after the pain is gone. Values tested by hardship become deeply rooted, guiding future actions with greater confidence and purpose. The process of moving through pain builds self-trust. Each challenge survived reinforces the belief that difficulties can be faced without collapse. This belief does not rely on external validation. It comes from experience. Self-trust is permanent because it is earned, not imagined. It becomes an internal anchor during future uncertainty. Pain is temporary because it belongs to a moment. Even long-lasting pain evolves. Its intensity changes, its lessons emerge, and its hold weakens over time. Growth, however, accumulates. Each lesson learned adds to the foundation of strength, wisdom, and resilience. These qualities do not fade when comfort returns. Avoiding pain may bring short-term relief, but it delays growth. Facing pain allows transformation. Growth does not require suffering for its own sake, but it often requires courage to remain present during discomfort. This presence turns pain into a teacher rather than a burden. What matters is not how quickly pain ends, but how it is carried. When pain is met with awareness, patience, and persistence, it shapes a deeper strength. The experience may pass, but the insight remains. The struggle may fade, but the resilience stays. Pain leaves, growth stays, and the person who emerges is no longer the same as before. Life constantly presents situations that are unpredictable and often uncontrollable. Circumstances change without warning. People act in unexpected ways, and outcomes do not always align with effort or intention. Trying to control everything outside oneself leads to frustration and exhaustion. True stability begins with understanding a simple principle: control what is within you. While external events may remain uncertain, inner responses can be shaped, trained, and mastered. What lies within a person's control includes thoughts, reactions, attitudes, and actions. These inner elements determine how experiences are processed and how challenges are faced. Two people can encounter the same difficulty and emerge with entirely different outcomes based on how they respond internally. This shows that strength does not come from controlling circumstances, but from controlling the self. Thoughts are often the first place where control must be practiced. The mind naturally produces stories, assumptions, and interpretations, many of which are unhelpful or inaccurate. Without awareness, these thoughts dictate emotions and behavior. Learning to observe thoughts, rather than automatically believing them, creates mental freedom. This does not mean suppressing thinking, but choosing which thoughts deserve attention and which can be released. Over time, this practice builds clarity and reduces unnecessary suffering. Emotions are another internal element that can be guided. Emotions cannot always be prevented, but they can be regulated. Anger, fear, and sadness arise naturally in response to certain situations, yet they do not need to determine actions. By pausing, breathing, and allowing emotions to pass without immediate reaction, a person gains control over behavior. This ability transforms emotional energy into constructive action rather than destructive response. Actions remain fully within control, even when emotions are intense. Choosing how to act despite internal discomfort is a powerful skill. Discipline grows from this choice. Acting with integrity, patience, and intention during difficult moments strengthens character. Each time a person chooses aligned action over impulsive reaction, self-respect deepens and inner strength increases. Control within also includes perspective. How a situation is framed mentally affects its impact. Seeing obstacles as personal attacks creates resentment, while seeing them as challenges encourages growth. Perspective does not deny difficulty, it shapes meaning. By choosing a constructive interpretation, stress is reduced and focus is restored. This shift allows energy to be directed towards solutions rather than resistance. Another internal element within control is effort. Results are influenced by many external factors, but effort remains a personal responsibility. Giving consistent effort regardless of outcome builds confidence and self-trust. When effort is valued more than results, motivation becomes stable. This mindset protects against disappointment and encourages persistence, even when progress is slow. Control also extends to habits. Daily routines shape long-term outcomes more than single decisions. Choosing how to spend time, what information to consume, and how to care for the body and mind all fall within personal control. These small choices accumulate into health, clarity, and resilience. Habits practiced consistently become automatic, reducing reliance on willpower. Letting go of what cannot be controlled is as important as strengthening what can be. Releasing the need to manage others' opinions, outcomes, or past events frees mental energy. Acceptance does not mean approval, it means acknowledging reality without resistance. This acceptance allows focus to return to the present moment, where control is possible. Inner control creates calm. When attention is placed on actions and responses rather than external chaos, stress decreases. Calmness improves decision-making and communication. It allows presence instead of panic. Over time, this calm becomes a stable inner environment that is less affected by external turbulence. Control within also fosters accountability. Instead of blaming circumstances or others, responsibility is taken for choices and reactions. This responsibility empowers change. When control is claimed internally, growth becomes possible regardless of external limitations. Mastery of the inner world is a lifelong practice. It requires patience, awareness, and repetition. Each moment offers an opportunity to choose response over reaction, intention over impulse, and clarity over confusion. While the outside world remains unpredictable, the ability to remain grounded, focused, and disciplined from within becomes a reliable source of strength that does not depend on external conditions. Endurance is often seen as the ability to tolerate pain or difficulty, but its deeper meaning reaches far beyond simple survival. Endurance is the capacity to remain present, committed, and steady in the face of discomfort, uncertainty, and resistance. While it may appear restrictive in the moment, endurance ultimately creates freedom by strengthening the mind, shaping character, and reducing dependence on comfort and external conditions. When a person avoids discomfort, life becomes smaller. Choices are limited by fear of difficulty, and decisions are guided by the desire for immediate relief. Endurance breaks this pattern. By willingly facing hardship, a person expands their range of action. Situations that once felt overwhelming become manageable. This expanded capacity leads to freedom, not from struggle, but from the fear of struggle. Endurance trains the mind to remain calm under pressure. Difficult situations often trigger emotional reactions that cloud judgment and weaken resolve. Through endurance, the mind learns to stay focused despite discomfort. This mental stability allows clearer thinking and better decisions. When emotions no longer control actions, personal freedom increases. One is no longer a prisoner of impulse or fear. Physical endurance also contributes to inner freedom. Training the body to handle effort, fatigue, and strain builds confidence and self-trust. This physical discipline reinforces the understanding that limits are often mental rather than absolute. As physical endurance grows, so does the belief in one's ability to face challenges. This belief extends into other areas of life, creating freedom of movement, confidence, and presence. Endurance reduces dependence on comfort. Comfort can easily become a cage. When life is arranged only to avoid discomfort, growth slows and fear increases. Endurance loosens the grip of comfort by showing that discomfort is survivable. This realization brings freedom of choice. Actions are no longer dictated by what feels easiest, but by what aligns with values and purpose. Through endurance, patience is developed. Many goals require time, effort, and repeated failure. Without endurance, frustration leads to quitting. Endurance allows a person to stay with the process, even when progress is invisible. This patience prevents impulsive decisions and builds long-term resilience. With patience comes freedom from urgency and desperation. Endurance also creates emotional freedom. Emotions rise and fall, often influenced by external events. Enduring emotional discomfort without acting impulsively builds emotional strength. It allows feelings to be experienced without being suppressed or exaggerated. This balance creates inner stability. Emotional freedom means feeling deeply without being controlled by feelings. The practice of endurance builds discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. Through repeated endurance, discipline becomes natural rather than forced. This internal discipline creates freedom from inconsistency and self-doubt. When actions are guided by commitment instead of mood, progress becomes steady and reliable. Endurance strengthens identity. Each time a person chooses to continue despite difficulty, self-image shifts. The identity of someone who avoids challenges is replaced by the identity of someone who persists. This shift is powerful. It creates freedom from limiting beliefs and self-imposed barriers. Identity shaped by endurance is grounded and confident. Endurance also deepens appreciation. After enduring hardship, simple things gain value. Comfort, rest, and peace are no longer taken for granted. This appreciation enhances satisfaction and reduces constant desire for more. Freedom grows when contentment replaces endless craving. Freedom created by endurance is not about escaping difficulty. It is about being unaffected by it. A person who has developed endurance carries stability wherever they go. External conditions lose their power to dictate internal state. This inner independence is a form of freedom that cannot be taken away. Endurance is not passive suffering. It is active engagement with difficulty, guided by awareness and purpose. Through enduring, strength is built, fear is reduced, and confidence is earned. Each challenge faced expands capacity and deepens trust in oneself. Over time, endurance transforms limitations into possibilities and effort into freedom. Hope is often mistaken for a feeling that appears when circumstances improve or when reassurance is given. Many believe hope arrives naturally when life becomes easier or when success feels close. In reality, hope does not depend on external conditions or emotional comfort. Hope is a practice, something that is built through deliberate actions, repeated choices, and disciplined mindset, especially when positive emotions are absent. Feelings are unstable by nature. They rise and fall depending on mood, energy, and situation. If hope depended on feelings, it would disappear during hardship, fatigue, or failure. Practicing hope means choosing constructive behavior even when optimism is low. It means continuing to act with purpose when outcomes are uncertain. This form of hope is not fragile. It is grounded in effort rather than emotion. Practicing hope begins with daily actions. Small, consistent steps toward improvement reinforce belief in progress. These actions do not need to be dramatic. Showing up, maintaining routine, and completing basic responsibilities during difficult times all strengthen hope. Each action sends a message to the mind that movement is possible, even when circumstances are challenging. Hope is also practiced through perspective. Choosing how to interpret situations influences motivation. Setbacks can be seen as evidence of failure or as part of a learning process. Practicing hope means choosing interpretations that support growth rather than despair. This does not mean denying reality. It means acknowledging difficulty while believing in the possibility of change. Language plays a role in practicing hope. The words used internally shape mental direction. Replacing absolute, negative statements with realistic and constructive ones builds resilience. This practice strengthens mental discipline and prevents the mind from collapsing into helplessness. Over time, this shift becomes natural and self-sustaining. Hope is reinforced by consistency. Returning to effort repeatedly, even after disappointment, builds trust in oneself. This trust is the foundation of durable hope. It does not rely on promises or guarantees. It relies on the understanding that effort continues regardless of outcome. This mindset creates stability when results are delayed or unclear. Practicing hope also involves patience. Change rarely happens quickly. Impatience erodes hope by focusing on what has not yet happened. Patience allows space for progress to unfold. It supports long-term vision over immediate gratification. This patience becomes a skill that protects hope from being undermined by temporary setbacks. Connection is another practice of hope. Seeking support, sharing struggles, and offering help to others reinforces belief in possibility. Hope grows in environments where effort is shared and understanding is present. Isolation weakens hope, while connection strengthens it. Choosing to remain connected during difficult times is an active expression of hope. Hope is also practiced through self-care. Maintaining physical health, mental clarity, and emotional balance supports resilience. These practices do not eliminate hardship, but they increase capacity to face it. When the body and mind are cared for, the ability to continue strengthens. This continuation reinforces hope through action rather than reassurance. Practicing hope requires courage. It means acting without certainty and continuing despite fear. Courage is not the absence of doubt, but the willingness to move forward with doubt present. Each courageous step reinforces the belief that effort matters. This belief sustains hope even when evidence is limited. Hope is strengthened through reflection. Recognizing past challenges that were survived builds confidence in future endurance. Reflecting on progress, no matter how small, reinforces belief in growth. This awareness grounds hope in experience rather than imagination. Hope practiced daily becomes independent of circumstance. It does not disappear when emotions are low or outcomes are uncertain. It exists in discipline, effort, and presence. Through practice, hope becomes a steady force that guides action, rather than a fleeting feeling that depends on external validation.